What if the man who made the whole world laugh was quietly drowning behind the scenes? What if the smile you saw on your TV was hiding years of pain, struggle, and survival? And what if that story ended far too soon? This is the story of Matthew Perry, a man who gave us unforgettable humor as Chandler Bing but lived a reality far different from the one we thought we knew. Matthew Langford Perry was born on August 19, 1969, in Williamstown, Massachusetts, to actor John Bennett Perry and Canadian journalist Suzanne Morrison. His parents divorced when he was still a baby, and Matthew spent most of his childhood in Canada with his mother. From the start, he was a competitive spirit, excelling in tennis and even ranking among Canada's top junior players. But inside, he longed for connection and approval, something that fame would later give and cruelly take away. By his late teens, Perry had moved to Los Angeles to live with his father and chase acting. He started landing small TV roles, but in 1994, everything changed. He was cast as Chandler Bing in Friends, a sitcom that would become one of the most successful TV shows in history. Chandler's sarcasm, awkward charm, and razor-sharp timing turned Perry into an international star almost overnight. But behind the laughter, something darker was already taking root. During the second season of Friends, a jet ski accident left Perry in excruciating pain. Doctors prescribed Vicodin, and soon he found himself dependent on it. What started as a way to manage physical pain spiraled into a growing addiction. He later admitted he could barely remember filming entire seasons of the show. His weight fluctuated dramatically. Fans noticed he looked gaunt in some episodes and heavier in others, each change silently marking the battle he was fighting off-screen. Alcohol had already been in his life since his early 20s, but now it mixed dangerously with opioids. At the height of Friends' success, when millions envied his life, Perry felt empty and broken. He once said, "I was in the white-hot flame of fame, and it was burning me." Even as he delivered some of the show's funniest moments, he would go home and face withdrawal, depression, and the gnawing urge to numb himself again. Yet Matthew Perry wasn't just a victim of his addictions. He checked into rehab multiple times, sometimes emerging healthier, sometimes relapsing. He was brutally honest in interviews, openly admitting his struggles when other stars would hide them. His co-stars supported him fiercely, especially Jennifer Aniston, who once told him, "We know you're drinking." Those words stuck with him for years. By the time Friends ended in 2004, Perry had gone through rehab twice and was still wrestling with his demons. Life after Chandler Bing was a mix of highs and lows. He starred in movies like The Whole Nine Yards and 17 Again, and in critically praised TV shows like The West Wing and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. But his off-screen life remained unstable. Prescription pills, alcohol, detox centers, relapses, it became a cycle he struggled to break. In 2013, Perry turned a corner. He converted his Malibu Beach home into the Perry House, a sober living facility for men battling addiction. He became a vocal advocate for recovery programs, meeting with politicians to discuss reform and using his own painful past to help others. It was a side of Matthew Perry the public rarely saw: compassionate, driven, and willing to turn his scars into someone else's survival guide. Then, in 2022, Perry released his memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. It was raw, unfiltered, and at times shocking. He revealed he had spent more than $9 million on rehab and nearly died after his colon burst due to opioid overuse, leaving him in a coma for 2 weeks. Doctors gave him a 2% chance of survival. He beat those odds, and for a while, it seemed Matthew Perry's story was headed for redemption. But on October 28, 2023, the world was stunned by the news. Matthew Perry was found unresponsive in his hot tub at his Los Angeles home. The cause of death was linked to the effects of ketamine. The man who had made us laugh through our own hard times was gone at just 54 years old. His passing left fans across the globe heartbroken, not just because we lost Chandler Bing, but because we lost Matthew Perry, a man who fought harder than most of us will ever have to. In his final years, Perry often said that he wanted to be remembered not for Friends, but for helping people get sober. "When I die," he wrote, "I'd like friends to be listed far behind the things I did to help others." That wish lives on in the lives he touched, the people he inspired to seek help, and the millions who now see addiction with more empathy because of his honesty. Matthew Perry's life was a story of brilliance and pain, laughter and loss, battles and victories. And maybe that's why it hits so deeply, because it's proof that even those who seem to have everything can still be fighting the hardest battles.
How would you like to be remembered?
I would like to be remembered as somebody who lived well, loved well, was a seeker, and his paramount thing is that he wants to help people. That's what I want.
If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more real stories behind the stars we think we know, make sure to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.